Hi, I'm Joe Lewkowicz with Coldwell Banker Realty, and this is the May North West Tampa real estate report. Just kind of want to give you guys an update and answer some questions about what's happening in the real estate market. Right now, we are in our third best month of the summer selling season. Always our good months start at the beginning of March, gets stronger in April, gets stronger through May, gets really strong in June and July. Market will start to fall off around August a little bit. Once school starts. So right now I've had in the last month maybe 15 sales. 6 of them had multiple offers. Actually 7 of them had multiple offers. 3 of them with at least 3 or more all at the same time. Many of them selling within a week. Interestingly, houses that are priced really right fly out the door almost no matter what price range they are. The strongest price levels are below the $300,000, below the $250 mark. It's very hard for first-time home buyers to get in to save enough down payment, and that's been the biggest issue that we're running into, not just in the Tampa area, but nationally. But you can, with a lot of programs that are available, FHA financing for any house that's basically $275,000 or less, the down payment's roughly right at 3.5%. You're going to have some amount for closing costs. But if you have a good income and good credit, you can get into a home for less than $10,000. And so that's something to consider. Above that, it gets very hard to save the down payment, and that's been the biggest issue, having first-time home buyers come into the market and then be able to buy a house, and then those people want to buy something. New construction's doing very well. Most of it that's being built is getting sold immediately. There are not near the inventory that there was 10 years ago at this time, which was, we're just at that point coming into the crash of the market. We've been into that for about a year already, but we're, now all prices are back to the same as where they were roughly in about 2005. Now, with that said, the market is stronger the closer you are into downtown Tampa or the closer you are to saltwater. For example, Carrollwood, which is right by Bush Boulevard, the original Carrollwood area, does very, very well. A lot of people, houses there built 1965 to 1975. A lot of people who have grown up in the area are moving back to this location, or they can't afford houses that are in South Tampa, which are really about double the price. So there is no generality for the market. There, the prices in Old Carrollwood have gone up roughly 6 to 9% in the last year. As we head more towards Pasco County, it's running to about 4 to 6%, so about a 3% difference. And I think that could be said around the board. Westchase is doing very well. Some of the gated communities like Cheval, some of the gated communities in New Tampa are doing very well. So there's a lot of areas of pockets that are doing extremely well and other areas that are doing okay. This time of year, if you want to sell a home, having done studies on this before, the price differences between a sale in May, June, July compared to November, December, January is about 5 to 6% just for the time of year. So in other words, a house that could sell for $300,000 right now, if you decide to wait and put it on the market in October, you're probably looking at $285,000. So if you're thinking about selling your house, now's a great time to do it. So hopefully we can get to some questions, see what came in. Let me see if I can give some answers to things. Okay, so here's the first question I've got. I've heard it said that you shouldn't fix everything that's wrong with your house before selling because inspectors will always find more problems. How do I know what to fix and what to leave? That is a great question and probably one of the biggest issues that I deal with. I'm always leery to tell people to get their home inspected prior to putting it on the market. And the only reason I am that way is that each inspector seems to find little different things that they have their hot buttons on. For example, a house that I'm working on as we speak was a house in Carrollwood Village. The roof was replaced 2 years ago. Well, completely under warranty, under guarantee, everything, and the home inspector is saying certain of the things were not done right. Do we agree with the home inspector? Well, no, we're getting the roofer out there to do that. If you know of major things that are wrong with your house, they probably ought to be done. Roofs have seemed to be my biggest issue. Roofs that are approaching 16 years or more in age are going to become an issue on the sale of a home. Air conditioners that are approaching 12 years or more of age, 13 years or more of age, are going to become a condition on the sale of the home. The buyers are at least going to pay attention to that. If their home inspectors don't, on the roofs, insurance companies may not want to insure it. There's what's a thing that's called a 4-point home inspection that insurance companies want to give people a better rate to get insurance. They can still get insurance, but the rates can be considerably higher. And those cover air conditioning, plumbing, the roof, and the electrical system. And they all have to be passed by a certified 4-point inspector. There's also wind mitigation reports for the roof, so they can get a cheaper rate there. And those are the kind of things that people really look at. The problem with getting this all done beforehand, you may want to get a 4-point, and I would recommend that. You may want to get a wind mitigation report, although those are not valid for the next party, but at least you'll know. And when you're talking about a $300,000 or $400,000 house, these reports generally are running about $300 or $400. So you'll have a good idea what to expect. And if their inspector comes up with a lot of different stuff, then you can kind of say, I'm not going to do it, or I'll take care of this, or ask your inspector, why wasn't this found before? So next question, let's see what we've got. How many homes should you visit in person before deciding to buy one? Well, another great question. I think most of the people that are buying, for example, a house that I just listed on Friday, we sold yesterday. And we had 3 offers on it and sold at full price. The people had known what they were looking for. House just came on the market. If they kept looking around to go decide more, and actually there were 3 people that got shut out of the market, didn't get to show it, and the realtors had told their people, you need to go see it. In a hot market like this, if the house is priced right, you need to make an offer on it right away. Now, with that said, you better have done your homework ahead of time. Know what you get to a mortgage broker, find out what you can qualify for, know where you want to live, have gone to see open houses. But if you're just starting the process and you're saying, I want to be into a house by the time school starts, which is August, you better be deciding to make decisions to buy a house right now. Closings from this point are going to be taking anywhere from minimum usually of 30 days to 60 days. Home inspections take 15 days. Appraisals can take about 3 weeks. So by the time you have all the logistics done, if you're trying to get in within a couple of months, you better make a decision quickly. Next question coming up. I was hoping to sell my home and downsize into a smaller home this spring, but didn't get things together quick enough. Is the summer a good time to sell, or should I wait until next spring? Well, as I said, right now we are in the 3rd month of our best 3, and it gets better through June, gets better through July, and stops getting better in August. So you've still got a couple months to do it. If you can get it all together, yes. Now, if not, waiting till next April might not be a bad idea. The only thing that's going to happen, though, is that interest rates appear to be rising slowly but steadily. The Fed may still continue to do that. I quit predicting what they're going to do because they don't do it on a regular basis. But if interest rates go up by 0.5 to 1%, especially if they go up by 1%, you may have been better off to do it this year, even if it's August or September, than to wait till next spring, because we know what we're dealing with this year, and I don't know it's hard to predict on a year-to-year basis what the market's going to be. Another question, how far in advance should I apply for a mortgage before buying a home? Generally, and I'm doing this one from memory, mortgage pre-qualifications and pre-approvals are only good for 90 to 120 days. Some only are good for 60 days. And if you're trying to lock in an interest rate, some lenders will let you lock it in for 30 days. In other words, you buy a house, you apply for the loan, And this is once you've found a house, of course. You apply for the loan, you try to lock in the interest rates, and they'll let you lock it in for 30 days. For 45 or 60 days, they may want a little bit more money. But if it goes beyond that, they're probably not going to let you lock it in, or they'll let you lock it in, but they may want a larger fee. That's because, again, they don't know what's going to happen with the interest rates. But just as a pre-qualification standard, your credit report will change. Generally, after about 90 days, they want all new credit verifications and everything. But it's a good idea to at least talk to the mortgage broker ahead of time. See if we have another question. As a new landlord, what terms should I include in a lease agreement to ensure my property is safe in case of damage by renters? Well, realtors legally don't draw up leases. You need an attorney to draw up a lease. There are standard leases that you can do. I don't ever handle rentals because it's a completely different market. The people who sell are really good at that. The people who rent are really good at that, but there are different qualifications. So I wish I could answer that, but I would say get some legal advice on there. How important is the final walkthrough for the buyer? The final walkthrough is to determine whether the house is in the same condition and did they leave the stuff that they were supposed to do before you go to closing. So in other words, like I just did 2 walkthroughs this week. The houses were in great shape. We knew all the inspection items had been covered all that time, so pretty much knew what we were going to get into. Again, these were my listings, so we cover a lot of that stuff. But there's been cases before where, say, a moving truck bashed a wall in. Actually, one time they bashed the garage door in, and the sellers didn't want the buyers to know about it. We've had appliances missing, washer and dryer and refrige were supposed to be left, and they've been taken. Light fixtures taken, swapped, things like that. That's the kind of thing that the final walkthrough is supposed to check, and you really want to do it, the day before, the day of, because a lot of things can happen in between. So what is the final condition of the house? Because after the walkthrough, it's yours. You're not going to be able to go back to the seller. About the only way that you could do it is to sue them if there was something really wrong, and by that time it's too late. So let's see if we got one more question. How much lower do sellers usually go on the price of a home? Okay, so excellent question, and there is no set formula. A lot of people like to go, well, we're going to offer 10% less, or we're going to offer 15% less. This time of year, this kind of market, if a house is priced right, you're probably looking at it to sell at full price or within 1% to 2%. The median for houses under $300,000 in North West Tampa is running at about 1.6%. At over $300,000, it creeps up to about 2%. From 300 to 400, it creeps up to about 2%. At about 600,000 and up, you're looking at probably less than 5% of negotiation still. Now, some houses, if they've been overpriced, they're going to negotiate a lot more. So it's kind of an individual basis. But as a rule of thumb, the housing prices are probably selling in 2 to 3% of what it's listed at. So that's as good a general rule as I can give you. So this was our May report for North West Tampa. Again, my name's Joe Lewkowicz with Coldwell Banker. And remember, nobody works harder to sell your home.